Hi all. So today we're going to talk about access lists, and we'll just get right to it. So the syntax is access-list, then your access list name, and your action, permit or deny, and the protocol, we'll use TCP, and then it's your source IP address and subnet mask. If you're doing a 32-bit mask, so you're looking for one IP, you can, instead of writing out the 255.255.255.255, you can use the keyword host. And so normally you would write your, if you're going to put a subnet, you'd put, 10.10.10.10 space the mask, 255.255.255.0. When you're using a 32-bit mask and the keyword host, you write the word host first, and then you put the IP address. We'll permit him to go anywhere equal to port 80. So when you specify the port, you use the equal command there, and 80 being web. So we're going to apply this one to our inside interface. So we just called it inside ACL. We're going to allow our internal subnet, or sorry, our internal host to go anywhere on 80 so he can browse. And then to apply an access list to an interface, you use the access group command, access-group, and then the name of your access list. And then here you can apply it inbound or outbound on the interface. Generally speaking, most of the time you'll probably see it applied inbound on the interface. That's what we're going to do today, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So we're going to do it inbound on interface inside. And so what that command did was applied the inside ACL right here, excuse me, to the inside interface of the firewall in the inbound direction. So coming into the firewall from the inside segment. So the traffic could be going out the DMZ or public interface, but it's coming into the firewall on the inside interface. So another thing to keep in mind is, as we mentioned in previous labs, if you don't have any access list bound to an interface, then the interface will allow traffic to come in. There's a permit. What says you can or cannot go to another interface depends on I think we talked in Lab 1 about the security levels that are bound to the interface. So the inside interface is security level 100, which is the most secure, as we talked about previously. So it's allowed out to any less secure interface, which is any other interface on this firewall. The internet interface being, the outside interface being security level 0, least secure, and our DMZ interface being security level 50 in this scenario, as we talked about in a previous lab, which is also less secure than the inside. So it would be permitted out, or into the firewall and out to whatever interface. So we have this applied now, and I'll just give you an example then. So if we go to our PC1 host, we should be able to connect to our pub1 host on 80, because that's what we permitted. Perfect, open connection. But if we try and go on 443, it's not allowed, right? And if we look in the firewall log, show log, denied PC1 to get to pub1 on port 443, and denied by the inside ACL. Because again, we only have one access list element in here, and it permits, specifically that our host PC1 to go anywhere, but only on port 80. So there's an implicit deny now that we have one statement in here applied to the interface with the access group command. There's an implicit deny that will deny anything that doesn't match the rules above to permit. And now I'll show you this one too. So we could allow, or I'll say this. So I mentioned about having an implicit deny. Say you want to know if you're getting hits against the deny, right? You could add the access list statement. So we could do an access list deny IP any, which is essentially what the implicit deny is doing, but you need to put the ACL name, right? And if you have a look at the access list now, whoops. Because we didn't specify a line number, we just put access list inside ACL deny IP any. The line goes right to the bottom of the list. So now, if we go to PC1 and try and use SSL again to connect to pub 1. We're still not going to get there, but if we do show access list inside ACL, we can see, because we've actually added the deny line in, we can see hits against it. So I tried twice and we got 2 denies. So if we wanted to allow PC1 to get out on SSL, we could do a permit inside ACL to get out on TCP from that host to anyone equal to 443. What did we do here? Oh, sorry. Talking and not typing, right? Access list inside ACL. Sorry. I better, next time I'll just type it and talk second. Okay, so good, yes? Not really. Hopefully you've caught why. So you have a look. We're not getting there. And again, that's because the access list, it actually searches the access list from the top down, and it's a stop-on match, right? So as soon as there's a match, it performs whatever action was matched and doesn't look any further down the ACL. And again, we put in the last element without a line number. It went right to the bottom, and so we matched the deny IP any. So line numbers are important. We'll show you those. We'll do a quick no and get rid of this line here, right? And then if we look at the ACL now, we're back to our permit out on 80 for that host and then deny anything. So what we can do is put in a line number. So we'll again do access list inside ACL, and here's where you'd say your line 1. And what happens with the lines is wherever you decide, whatever line you decide you want to put in your ACL, that line number, the line number you put in, takes the line number you added. So in our case 1, it will go in place of this line, and all the other lines get bumped down. So this line 1 here will then be line 2. This deny will become line 3, right? So wherever you put the ACL on the line, it resumes that line number, and the line number that was there gets bumped down by 1, and all the other lines get bumped down as well. So we'll just add this ACL, and I'm going to type this one without talking so I don't mess it up. Inside ACL line 1, permit TCP host to go anywhere equal to 443. So we do show run access list. You can see our SSL line. It was line 1, and it is. The other line got bumped down to 2, and the deny got bumped down to 3. Now if we do our connection on a 443, it's working. We'll just close that. And if we come back and do a show run access, you can't do the run if you want to see line numbers though. Show access list inside ACL, and now you see line 1 has 1 hit. That was our connection out on SSL that we just tried. One more thing to add, I guess. If you want to do real logging against an access list, you can add the logging keyword, and you can then send matches against the ACL to a syslog server, so you can really see what's going on. And so if I just, again, I'm going to use line number, right? Line 3, so it's going to just write over this line and keep it where it is. And I'm just going to add this word, log, at the end. So if we do show run access list, you can see that deny has deny IP any log. And if we configure syslogging here again to a syslog server, we can see all the matches against this line and see what's being denied specifically. Okay, I think that's all the basics. There's a little more to it. The key thing is to make sure your permits and denies are in the right place. Make sure you have the denies you need in there. And make sure the permits are above those denies if you want it to get out. Thanks a lot. Hope that helped. Any questions, leave comments on YouTube, and I'll do my best to get back to you.